However, not everyone is happy about this mandate. Uber driver Richie Manny says she has already experienced many issues.
I think it's worse as far as the female students because, like I said, that one is a dark alley. And if they've been drinking, they may get in the wrong car. That would not be good.
This is the West pickup location located right behind Vincent's Kitchen. For citizens to get to this pickup spot, they will have to walk through the Faulkner's Alley, which is causing many safety concerns.
I think it's a little bit controversial, like with all the students. I think it is hard, you know, when you have one or two girls walking by themselves across the square. I don't necessarily think it's a great idea.
Although this mandate will not affect drop-offs, all taxis, Ubers, and Lyfts must pick up citizens between 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. at the designated locations. Anna Kate Boyd, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
The president had plenty to talk about when he went to promote his infrastructure plan in Pennsylvania today. Find out how he responded to this morning's bridge collapse coming up. But first, here's a look at your current conditions.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear, to drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because no matter your religion, gender, disability, age, race, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Bridge collapsed just hours before and miles away from the place that President Biden was scheduled to promote his infrastructure package in Pennsylvania today. CNN's Emily Schmidt has the details on this morning's events.
Friday morning, a snow-covered bridge collapsed with vehicles unable to stop before the span dropped to a park below.
It's very frightening. It wasn't one noise, it was persistent.
The collapse cut a gas line. Icy roads slowed response time and hindered rescuers, authorities said.
A daisy chain with hands just grabbing people and pulling them up.
Yet the weather may have provided a silver lining.
Thankfully, the schools were on a 2-hour delay for weather, so the traffic was less than it would have been normally on a normal day.
Officials say the bridge, seen here 3 days ago, was last inspected 4 months ago in September 2021. A State Department of Transportation website lists the overall condition as poor. The collapse comes on the same day and not far from the same area where President Biden planned to talk about the recently passed bipartisan infrastructure deal. Before he did, he visited the bridge site.
As a former Pennsylvanian, but I didn't realize there are literally more bridges in Pittsburgh than any other city in the world.
Officials say they are fortunate no one died here, but in a place known as the City of Bridges, this collapse is a heavy load to bear. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Road problems could continue to worsen in the area as a blizzard heads towards the northeast.
That blizzard isn't only causing road concerns. Airlines have already canceled 2,000 flights to major East Coast hubs for Saturday. A massive storm system is expected to dump heavy snow and produce near hurricane force winds in the region over the weekend. It's still not clear exactly which area will be hit the hardest. For now, Boston's Logan Airport is the most heavily impacted, with more than 200 Saturday flights canceled. Forecasters say storm conditions will affect about 75 million people.
The United States Air Force loaded up their own plane today, this one full of weapons, ammunition, and other supplies headed to Ukraine. Tensions continue to rise on the border, but world leaders are still saying that they want to avoid war. The Russian foreign minister said that there will be no war over Ukraine if it is up to the Russian government. And chairman of the Joint Chiefs Staff's General Mark Milley said that an invasion of Ukraine would be horrific. The president of Belarus also said that his country is against war, but would fight if Russia is attacked.
The two suspects charged with the murder of rapper Young Dolph appeared in court today. Cornelia Smith and Justin Johnson face multiple charges for the shooting of Young Dolph, whose real name is Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. Authorities say they pulled up to a cookie shop in Memphis, Tennessee on November 17, 2021 and opened fire. Johnson went on the run after the shooting and was captured in Indiana earlier this month. Johnson has also previously been arrested for a 2017 triple shooting in Memphis. He was sentenced to 5 years, and just after a few months, a judge approved his release.
Well, Netflix sensation Joe Exotic to serve 21 years in prison. A federal judge today reducing his punishment by just a year after the former zookeeper pled for leniency as he begins treatment for early-stage prostate cancer. Exotic, whose real name is Joseph Maldonado Passage, was sentenced in January of 2020 after being convicted of trying to hire 2 different men to kill Carol Baskin, whose likeness is also featured in the Netflix original series Tiger King alongside Maldonado Passage. He maintains his innocence, but Maldonado Passage also is convicted of killing 5 tigers, selling tiger cubs, and falsifying wildlife records.
And coming up in sports, Coach Joe and the women's basketball team came up just short last night against the #1 team in the nation, but look to bounce back against another ranked opponent this weekend. And the men's basketball team is set for a Big 12 SEC challenge tomorrow. Find out more up next in sports.
Disaster tips from the objects left behind.
My home wasn't insured, but you can check your insurance policy now to make sure you're covered. Oh.
My savings are lost, but you can put money aside and plan for unexpected disaster costs.
We're lost forever, but you can scan important documents now so they survive.
Whoa. For more tips on how to prepare, visit ready.gov.
On October 15, 2017, 2 words changed the course of history. The words we wrote that day are a part of a longer and even more powerful history.
The wounds become scars.
Things are changing.
We really need everyone's voices.
Today, we all have a chance to write another chapter, powered by everyday activism as simple as joining a march or reading a book, written to a permanent archive on a public blockchain.
Because it takes a sea of us coming forward to demand change.
Because no matter who you are, you can act too. The end of sexual violence begins with this next act.
I want to eat apples and bananas. and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
We scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
The number 24 ranked women's basketball team fell short in their meeting with number 1 South Carolina last night in Columbia by a score of 69-40. The Rebels were held to just 27% shooting from the field, but Shakira Austin was the lone bright spot. She led the team in scoring with 15 points and also grabbed 7 rebounds. Some good defense from the Rebels kept South Carolina to just 40% shooting, but the Gamecocks dominated the glass and out-rebounded Ole Miss 47-33. They won all 4 quarters and came out with the victory. Ole Miss will look to get back in the win column this Sunday against Georgia. Tip-off in the Pavilion is at 2 p.m. And keeping things on the hardwood, the men's basketball team will look to rebound tomorrow afternoon when they host Kansas State at 3 p.m. as part of the SEC Big 12 Challenge. The Rebs are looking to earn their first win in the SEC Big 12 Challenge in program history, and to do that, they will need to contain Wildcat star Nigel Pack, who's averaging 16.5 points per game coming into tomorrow's contest. Ole Miss will also need a big performance from sophomore Matthew Morrell. He has been on this season, and he's shooting nearly 58% from the field. Come out to the Pavilion at 3 to catch this great matchup. Now serving things over to the tennis court, the men's and women's squads will both be competing in the ITA kickoff weekend tomorrow and Sunday. The men's team comes in 3-0 and ranked number 18 nationally, and they will face number 22 Oklahoma and number 25 Illinois. These matchups will be an early challenge for the squad. The women's team comes in sitting at 2-0, and they will have a tough opponent on their hands with number 14 Michigan. If they get a victory tomorrow, they will advance to the championship round, which is on Sunday at noon. And now some news regarding the women's rifle team. They will take a trip to West Point this weekend to face Army and John Jay College. The team comes in ranked to number 5 nationally, and this will be their final road trip of the season. This will be a chance for the team to get back on target after 2 tough losses to number 1 ranked Alaska Fairbanks and cement their place as a top team in the NCAA. Ole Miss will lean on Lee Horvath to dominate the competition. She ranks 4th nationally in aggregate score, and she will need to be at her best for the Rebels to come away with 2 crucial victories. And Jackson State quarterback Shadur Sanders made history this week, becoming the first HBCU player to sign an NIL deal with Gatorade. Sanders said that he had been drinking Gatorade since he was a kid and that it was an honor to join the Gatorade family. The 19-year-old lit it up as a freshman last year, leading the Tigers to an SWAC championship and winning the Jerry Rice Award, which is given to the FCS's most outstanding freshman player. This deal is a big step in getting more exposure to HBCUs and the talented players they have. Sanders will join other elite athletes such as J.J. Watt, Zion Williamson, and former Rebel wideout DK Metcalf as part of the Gatorade family. And that's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at rebel_watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Carson. And it may not be an inauguration year, but this January the White House just earned a new resident.
Find out which furry friend is the latest addition to the Biden administration up next.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove. You told me not to do drugs. You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
we're being flooded with false information. The more we mindlessly share, the more misinformation threatens us and puts our democracy at risk. But together, we can help protect our communities before it's too late. It's time to check our sources and verify our facts. Let's care before we share.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. Why? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
You want peanut butter? We need to hurry. You're late. You need to finish, please. I gotta get him changed. Okay.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
The White House has a new feline companion, and it's sure to win bipartisan support. Meet Willow the cat. She's a short-haired 2-year-old tabby First Lady Jill Biden met at a campaign stop back in 2020. That's when Willow jumped on stage at a farm where she was speaking. Friends of the family fostered the first kitty for several months before she moved into the White House. The First Lady named her Willow after her hometown in Pennsylvania.
She's now sharing her fancy digs with Commander, the German Shepherd puppy the Bidens adopted in December. He came after the family's 13-year-old Shepherd, Champ, died. You may also remember the Bidens briefly had another German Shepherd named Major, who they had to rehome after he bit staff members. Willow is the first cat to live in the White House since the George W. Bush administration.
If I were president, I would have a plethora of animals in the White House. Just because, when else do you get that much domestic space for them to run wild? I don't know, Hannah, are you a cat person?
I definitely am a cat person. Cats over dogs for sure.
So would you have a first cat in the White House if you had a
Oh,
choice?
1000%.
Yeah?
Would you?
I'm allergic to cats, so that'd be a terrible idea.
It's a little unfortunate.
But they're so cute. I like seeing them in the wild.
Yes.
I mean, wild cats are great. Well, some
Tiger
wild
King.
cats aren't great. Because we're going to play Kansas State tomorrow. Is that correct?
That's
you
right.
want to tell us a little bit about what's going on there?
Well, Ole Miss in the Big 12 SEC Challenge, we are 0-6. We've never won a game in men's basketball in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. I think that changes this weekend. Both teams are 2-6 in conference. It's going to be a great game, even matchup. I think the Rebels come out on top.
You do. And you didn't think that last week, did you? I want to make sure we have a reliable source here. They're going to come out on top for real this time? Maybe the Wildcats?
Definitely.
All right, thank you so much. Well, that's all we have for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Gavin Norton.
And I'm Hannah Baker. Make sure to follow us on social media at NewsWatch Ole Miss for the latest updates.
Thank you, and good night.